All right, in this video, I want to talk through Thrive and where we fit in the marketplace and kind of open our eyes to our area of focus, which is really manufacturing. So when you think holistically about a company, we're all on the same team, right? So whether I'm in IT or I'm in manufacturing, we have a shared goal. We're going to provide the end customer a high quality product as efficiently as possible. So each of us play a separate role though, and I hope in this to show that the need for systems and what they do in manufacturing is different than what is needed within the IT team and what they do. So from an IT, but both are critical. So if you see here, both play a critical role in success, and both groups have limited resources and shareholder pressures. So we're getting pressured to get this right in the financials. We're getting pressured to build it right. And so where it starts though is the responsibility IT is to collect a customer order. They have to schedule the order to production. They have to track and consume inventory, so they're managing the finances on where is everything at and what is the orders and where am I going to build them. Then they produce a work order. That is really the key thing that manufacturing gets. They're going to get a work order. And then they're responsible for shipping the product to the end customer. So IT is looking at all the systems to make sure this happens well. And to do that, some of the system needs are it has to be very consistent. It has to be accurate so that the delivery of the order information is accurate, right? It has to know that this is going to be repeatable, accurate, super duper important, right? And it also has to be able to do detailed financial tracking. Where are my inventory dollars? How much am I spending here? Am I consuming it in the bill of materials the right way? Which is why they'll get MESs and ERPs and these tools to really help them make sure that they're capturing it well. And then from a reporting or a metrics, if you think of that way, standpoint, they're also taking the information that this is generating and they're trying to be informative. They need to tell people here's what happened. It needs to be high level information. It needs to be reoccurring type information, oftentimes lagging information, like it's already happened type information. And it has to a lot of times be in like an executive summary view. So I want to see multiple things on one page together. So that's what they do. It is really the foundation of it has to be right. Otherwise, the rest of it's wrong. And it becomes really critical. So that's their focus. From a manufacturing standpoint, though, they got this work order. So produce a work order, it gets sent to manufacturing and says, you need to build this. What's their job? What's their responsibility? They need to build that to order on time and cost effectively. So that becomes their goal. Now, how do I do that and what do I need for systems to do that? Well, their systems have to be user friendly, ideally mobile data entry, so at the point of use for speed. They have to be flexible to change and fast because this systems their number of lines they need, where they're located, what product they're running, all that stuff changes regularly. So it has to be flexible and fast. It has to be owned by them. They need to know they're the ones that know the data. They know the process. So they have to feel ownership, and then they have to know what their real priorities are to do this well and make them visible. So what is it that I care about with manufacturing or operational excellence? And then the data needs to be in real time. So with that, their metrics or their reporting really has to be actionable. So ideally, these are leading indicators. They're actionable things that I saw in real time or at the moment. This is out of spec. I need to do something. If it's lagging by a week, they've missed a bunch, right? It has to be visual and flexible, their reporting, because it's going to change. I need to dig into this specific thing now tied to this specific product. They have to trust the data and have ownership, and they're going to use that to engage their team, which is then going to form a culture, right? So if I have a priority, I make it visible, I engage my team in it, and I drive change, and then I celebrate that with my team. I form a culture of continuous improvement or lean or it's a team. It's a high executing team, and then ideally one stop shop. So I want to go to a spot and kind of ask Google as an example, like how am I running today, or how do things look? So that's what they're looking for. So then if we drill down into this, if you think about again where Thrive plays is on the manufacturing end solely. We don't do anything on the IT side of it. And so within the manufacturing side, companies have all kinds of things they care about. Usually there's 3 or 4 pillars. I put a bunch of them in here just to get an idea. But maybe quality is a pillar that my company stands on. And then within each of those, I have work processes. So if you think through, um, if you think through each of these, have work processes in here. So I see my slides kind of messy. I'm not sure what happened there. But within this, under people, I might have a safety process and a training program and a recognition program. And I have to do observational audits on team members to make sure that we're performing things. Any of these work processes that I do, I'm saying are important to make sure purely that I got the order built on time, to order, and cost effectively. That's what I'm after. And so if I feel like these are important in doing that in this moment, I need some kind of a tool to help me manage that, to make sure that, again, the data is visible, it's responsive, it's flexible, all those needs that I have. So that's really where we play. So then if you understand that and you start looking at like, where does Thrive then do that? So how do we build out Thrive to help you as a manufacturer do that? So one of the ways is launch pads. So this is a way where you can go set these up. You make these buttons, you do the layout, you can set up multiple of them and they look different, right? So if I have a quality team, I can give the quality team this kind of a launch pad or home screen or app, whatever you'd like to call it. But it's a quick way that you can access only the information I care about. It's flexible in that you can design this yourself. You can set it up for your company. You build this, you control it for your group. So that's one example. Another way is within our audits. So I might have an area where I need to do multiple audits for quality to assure that my quality program is good, or safety, or continuous improvement, whatever it might be. You go in and set these audits up yourself. You can make as many of them as you want when you go build these. You set up the questions, you put in the pictures, you expect the responses. So you control this within your shop floor to allow your users to do that. And then when they perform these, it's all mobile friendly. So when they perform that audit, they can use their Launchpad to just click a button like this and say, hey, I want to perform my housekeeping audit. And it kicks off on my mobile screen or my tablet or whatever for me. So that's another way that plays out. Another way that we try to be flexible and speed and fast and put it in their ownership is on how they manage their forms and what they give people access to. So rather than having to call IT to say, hey, I need somebody to do this and that, they can have administrators in the plant that can choose who can see what. So now they're in control of saying, hey, I want the continuous improvement manager to see goal boards and I want them to be able to insert an update. But you know what? I don't want them to delete. So they could say, I'm going to take that off or turn that on. All the way down to the field level or setting up the form on what the form says. They can come in and say, you know, on my goal board form, I want to be able to rename it instead of date entered. I just want that date to say date. You know, so they can change the whole form for the company. So again, back to our focus and mission is just different. We have a customer in manufacturing that expects something different. Some other ways that we can do that we do this or have this mindset gets into notifications. So somebody that you give permissions to in your Thrive platform can go in and set up an actual notification. So they can turn this on and they can say, I want it to do whatever it is they want it to do, right? When this information is updated, I want to send an email to this individual or whoever requested it. And I want in the email to have this information and show these fields off of the form. We put that in their hands to control. Another example is reporting. So they can build out their own dashboards. So if you think about this, you know, might be the leading indicators, or some of these might be lagging also, but what quality issues am I having? Show me how I'm doing on efficiency. Like, give me the information that I care about right now, and you know, whatever that is. And then within these, even I want to get more detailed. So I might say, you know, here's my 5S audits. Let's see what other ones here. Non-conformance trend. Well, maybe I want to look into this more. They can open up any of their reports that they have. They can see the detail of what's causing these. They can actually click on these and get right to that non-conformance. So now this is where the detail entry happened, right? So I can get to the action. Who's working on this? Why are they working on it? What is it? So within these are all examples that all tie back to these slides to say, when we're building out Thrive, what do we care about? Our focus isn't here. This is super important, and there's a lot of, you know, ERPs, MESs focus on this. We're playing in manufacturing on the shop floor to build tools that help them be mobile and flexible and owned by them, so that with their priorities you can make them visible and in real time, and reporting that does this. And so hope this gives you an idea of where Thrive plays, what we care about, and how it adds value to manufacturers.